Now, welcome back. I want to make note at the bottom of your screen, right down here. Notice there are challenges between the 9 and the 10 o'clock hour. So if you're watching and you're just waiting to donate maybe to the 11th hour or as we get closer to midnight, do it now. There's challenges at the bottom of your screen. You can see one right there. Congrats to the ND Club of Reading for winning the 8 to 9 p.m. See, even if you win the hour, then you go ahead and you get a scroll at the bottom as well. Thank you, Indy. Our next guest, Maddie Link, appeared on Notre Dame Day several years ago as a first-year undergraduate at the university who helped with the creation of a 3D topographical map of Notre Dame's campus to expand campus accessibility for students with disabilities, the first map of its kind at this university. And if you haven't seen it yet, you can go over to NotreDame.com and obviously NotreDame.edu and actually see it. It is something, Maddie. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
I got my notes here. It says you are a double domer, and then you told me 2 have been completed. You are now on your 3rd dome.
Yeah, I'm on my 3rd degree here. So last time I was on, I was a first-year undergraduate. I'm now a first year in our medieval studies Ph.D. program. And in the interim, I completed a master's in theological studies that I finished last year.
Most are just trying to get their first one, but you're already on to your 3rd. Start us at the beginning. So you're on Notre Dame Day a little bit ago. Where's your journey at now, and where do you see it going?
Oh, wow, that's a great question. It's been a phenomenal journey. I'm so blessed to be here. I loved my time here as an undergrad. I was in Lyons Hall, best dorm on campus. I was a history and theology double major, minor in Italian. I had the chance to do 2 summer study abroad programs, one in Jerusalem and one in Rome. And I was part of the planning committee for Junior Parents Weekend. So a really rich, wonderful experience. I was also blessed to be a merit scholar through the Brennan Family Scholars Program. So really grateful to Mr. and Mrs. Brennan and their family for their amazing generosity and the scholarship that they made possible for me.
And it sounds like you did it once. You said, all right, I want to keep doing this. You're doing it again. You said you traveled abroad and did a semester in Rome?
2 summers.
2 summers.
So I did 1 summer in Jerusalem and then the following summer in Rome.
And you also are doing medieval studies here at Notre Dame. Any influences there? When you went there, you got inspired to come back and want to do more?
I've always loved the medieval period. I think it's really fascinating. My work focuses mostly on medieval women and pilgrimage. And so I felt that very personally as a modern woman who has gone to a lot of pilgrimage sites. I was really inspired thinking about myself as sort of someone who followed in their footsteps in some ways, and really excited to tell their stories and make them more well known. Yeah,
and one thing that I've heard a lot of on this Notre Dame Day has to do with just the footprint of Notre Dame. It's not just campus, it's extending the campus. What kind of qualities did you get on campus that you then took and continue to bring to the world?
I think community is huge. That's something that Notre Dame really prides itself on here, and something that they foster in the Global Gateway campuses, which they have in Jerusalem and Rome, so that's where I was both times I traveled abroad, and they're wonderful communities, great resources, people who know the area really well, people who want to help, people who connect you to opportunities to serve the community, phenomenal professors, really home away from home at all of those locations.
And you have an interesting perspective. If you want to talk a little bit about that, just going through the process of these different degrees and these different accomplishments, what are some things that you're able to bring out of yourself as a person that you learned?
So I ended up taking a gap year between my undergrad and my master's. That was partly due to the COVID pandemic that started in 2020 during my senior year. And I'm really grateful for that opportunity, actually, because it gave me a chance to really reflect on what I wanted to study and what I wanted to do, and to return to graduate school very focused. I took 5 semesters of Latin over Zoom with a graduate of our MA in Classics program. Yeah, it was wonderful. And really it was technology at its finest. So I'm really grateful for her and that we were able to connect, and I feel like that prepared me to be very successful coming back to the master's, and then kind of moving into the PhD and having a plan and working on my application and staying in touch with wonderful professors and advisors who helped me through that process.
You know, one thing about Notre Dame is that when it comes to support professors, it never stops.
No.
And you have some of these lifelong friends, lifelong teachers. Maddie, what's next? I know you're going back, you're going to do this and that, but what do you want to see accomplished in the next 5, 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, ideally, I would love to be a professor myself.
Yeah.
And teach medieval studies with a particular focus on medieval women, pilgrimage narratives, as I mentioned, clothing motifs is the other thing that I sort of trace out in my research, and just show people that the Middle Ages is an amazing time period full of people who are doing really wonderful and interesting things.
Are you planning on doing a 3D rendering of Rome? You've done it for Notre Dame.
I don't know. If our architecture folks want to, that'd be a big job.
Well, thank you, Maddie. I appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Anytime.
It was great to
Of
be
course.
here.
So we're going to take a quick break, let you know what's going on. Time now, 9:34. And as I've mentioned, get those donations in, even the smallest amount, the bottom part of your screen. Use hashtag NDDay to share your Notre Dame social content. That was about 7 hours ago. Hey, let's get this updated. Come on, guys. We'll sit back and we'll join Amanda down with the director from the Office of Enrollment to talk about a very important milestone that Notre Dame is celebrating this year. Plus, don't forget, this is the third time I have said this, and since you've been watching since 9 o'clock, the third time you have heard this, a performance by the Notre Dame Folk Choir. We'll be right back.